Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base, and there's no place for it. And we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it. You know, we come to play basketball for our job, and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for. And
all right, let's dive into the latest WNBA controversy, and this one is heating up fast. Alyssa Thomas just called out Caitlin Clark's fan base, claiming the crazy hype around Clark is tied to racism. Naturally, social media erupted, and most fans aren't buying it. After more than a decade in the league, you'd think Alyssa would know how to handle crowd noise and fan energy. But instead, she took it a step further, suggesting the reason fans cheer louder for Clark than for her has to do with skin color. Really, Alyssa? That's the angle you're taking. Let's break this down, because the situation has multiple layers, and honestly, none of them reflect well on Thomas.
I ran into people who were born in the 40s a couple of weeks ago that were telling me it's worse now than it was in the 60s. But knowing how our society can be, we see the ugliness that exists in certain parts of the country. All I'm saying is you can't ignore it. This is a perfect example, a small one, but nevertheless a perfect example of illuminating the kind of society that we're still living in, no matter how far forward we...
Let's be real. Alyssa dropped that accusation right after one of her roughest playoff games, scoring just 8 points. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has been breaking records night after night, averaging over 25 points and lighting up the league like a walking highlight reel. So, Alyssa, maybe this isn't about race at all. Maybe it's about production. Fans tend to rally behind players who deliver consistently, not the ones whose stat lines make you double-check if they were even fully in the game.
Instagram wasn't there waiting for me. Instagram and Twitter, these are choices we make. It could have been somebody from Connecticut pretending to be an Indiana Fever fan, or someone from Connecticut who doesn't like you because you're a whiny victim 24/7. In my 11 years, I've never dealt with what I've dealt with. You know why? Because no one cared about your league before Caitlin Clark.
Look, speaking up for real issues is one thing, but this feels more like a distraction than a conversation. Alyssa Thomas has been in the league for over a decade. She's no stranger to media pressure or fan reactions. So why bring this up now? Why suddenly shift the focus this way? Could it be that after a rough outing, she just needed something, anything, to deflect attention from her performance? Let's be honest, fans aren't buying it, and the backlash has been massive.
We live in a world today. Think about the climate that exists. Think about how unhealthy and divisive our climate is in today's day and age. They're saying it's worse now than it was then.
Racial tension.
Racial tension, okay? So you see this girl, Caitlin Clark, and this is not her fault. It's not her fault. We won't go back. We won't go back. Don't let us go back. There's certain people that want us to go back to a different time, blah, blah, blah. We've heard all.
Let's be real. Caitlin Clark isn't controlling who cheers for her. She's simply doing what she does best, playing elite basketball night after night. Here's the kicker. Alyssa Thomas didn't just make a comment. She went full pity mode, acting like the world is out to get her because she's not getting the same fan love as Clark. But the truth? Clark's fans cheer for her because she's a star, putting on a masterclass every single game. Want the cheers? Put up the stats. It's that simple. Instead of owning a rough night, Alyssa chose to stir drama and drag Clark's fans into it.
This game in Austin, is X still in San Francisco? Was this game in San Francisco? Where exactly did she travel to work and get invaded by social media? They played in an arena, somewhere I would imagine in Connecticut. There were no opposing fans. You barely had home fans. And so no one cared. A couple 300,000 people were watching your games. No one will be tweeting about you, Alyssa Thomas. But the WNBA, in its infinite wisdom and cowardice,
And the funniest part? She's playing the victim. Come on, Alyssa Thomas, you've been in this league for over a decade. You know how it works. Fans cheer for skill and effort, for players who leave it all on the court. If you spent even half the time improving your game that you spend pointing fingers, maybe you'd be putting up stats people actually talk about. Instead, here we are, stuck in drama because Alyssa chose excuses over accountability.
Go to work today, and then she said, and have social media. Do you work on social media? Is that what does she travel? I think, where did they move Twitter to, or X? Where have I heard this argument before? Oh, Donald Trump may be fine, but the MAGA people, they're terrible. They're the deplorables. They're a threat to democracy. That ain't much of an audience, baby girl. You ain't catching a lot of strays. There was the other comment that she made, and someone hit me. Replay her comment.
And don't even get me started on the racial abuse claims. Look, racism is real, serious, and it absolutely belongs in the conversation. But Alyssa Thomas, you've been in the league for 11 years, and this is the first time we're hearing about it from you. Where was all this outrage before? I'm not saying she hasn't faced challenges, but it's hard to take these accusations seriously when the timing seems very convenient.
Now people showed up, and you're dealing with what everybody deals with on social media. You've got 14,000 followers on Twitter, and Caitlin Clark on the Roots poster, or the Roots. What is she talking about? Did someone put Dejanay Carrington's face on something? I don't know. People were waiting for them before the game, after the game, and yelling racial slurs at them or yelling inappropriate things at them.
And now, people are showing up, and this is what happens on social media. You've got 14,000 followers on Twitter, and then there's Caitlin Clark featured on major platforms or posters. What exactly is the complaint here? Fans were waiting before and after games, shouting slurs or inappropriate comments. I get it, that's serious, and no one should face that. But the context matters, and this situation feels blown up online in ways that don't match the reality on the court.
Been on Twitter since 2009 or 8, somewhere around there. The abuse, the things that are said and have been said about me will be said about me today. Turn to your teammate and say, hey, cut it out. But that's not what she's going to do or anybody's going to do. They're all going to, oh, it's Caitlin Clark, it's her fans. And now that Caitlin Clark has exited, they'll get to deal with the traveling gay sex cult that they're comfortable.
Especially when these claims drop right after one of your worst games of the season. What makes it even more absurd is Alyssa Thomas seems to think this story will gain traction. Sorry, Alyssa, people aren't upset because of your skin. Fans are upset because you're not delivering on the court. You can't put up just 8 points in a playoff game and then expect everyone to rally behind you.